Hey guys, Dan or aDrive here, bringing you guys some mobile gameplay commentary from Elestrals Digital, currently in alpha. This is a really cool match featuring Stratomoth. I think you guys will really enjoy it. And if you guys haven't done so yet, be sure to submit your backer kit. If you're a backer of our Kickstarter, we sent out our backer kit emails, which are going out right now. You should have it by now. If you have not checked it out, we had a video on the channel the other day that broke it all down, but check your email address. Go to BACKERKIT, you have to just enter your information for shipping and also pay for shipping, and then you have an opportunity to do any last minute add-ons you'd like to add. If you do not do this on time, which is by the 29th, don't wait till then, do it now, then you will have your shipment delayed. I can't ship you anything until you put in your address, so please do it ASAP. We're about 70% done, so big thanks to everybody who's already done it, and let's jump into the gameplay. Be sure to get your backer kit in, please. All right, so I've got a really cool game here against Orange. Again, I'm using Turbo Stratomoth, which is a really fun deck. Basically, the deck consists around a lot of Stratomoth. You've got a little bit of love in there with some Thunder Elestrals. You've got like Boom Bat and Astrabits, things like that. But generally, it's all about getting that Nimbug to the field to get to Stratomoth as fast as possible, and then use its secondary effect to essentially bounce things back to your opponent's hand and have a clear path to attack the Spirit deck or destroy any Elestrals in your path. So if you're kind of confused about the Elestrals app, it is an alpha right now, so it's sandboxy. We're still doing a lot of manual stuff, but we're working on programming effects and stuff right now, so it should be awesome. So let's dive in. So I get to go first here. I'm gonna straight up just play Tsunami face down, and Aeolus is really the kind of driving force of this deck. It's the only Divine Rune right now that allows you to enchant with a total of 4. I end up obviously just taking 2, kicking them out, no problem, and in this case I enchanted it with 4 and then just expended 2. That's gonna allow me to search my deck for any Wind, Elestral, 1 cost, so I can just grab Nimbug right out the gates, right? Now it cost me 2 spirits to get Nimbug, so it's an expensive situation, and then I'm sitting there with another 2 spirits on Aeolus, but nonetheless I can get my Nimbug out right away. This is crucial for Hydrake and Pantera decks as well. I'm able to cast the Nimbug, and then I use its effect immediately to expend a Wind Spirit to ascend it into Sirikun. So right out the gates, turn 1, my opponent hasn't even done an action yet. You can see I'm getting very adept with this app now. I'm moving pretty quickly. I have my Sirikun on the field. I've consumed 7 spirits, right? Now granted, 4 of them are on the field still, but I have used 7 spirits essentially on turn 1 to get my Sirikun out. Now, if my opponent has no way to get rid of Sirikun this turn, then I basically get free Stratomoth in my draw phase next turn, which is actually massive. And Stratomoth is so strong. So my opponent goes for the Demeter play. They're going to get Demeter out onto the field, and they're going to be able to enchant it multiple times. It's going to allow them to get a buff, essentially, on their Elestral for that turn. So they have Demeter out there, and then again, they're going to play Sprouter, and Sprouter gives them the search for the artifact, so they can immediately search their deck and grab Scythe of Demeter. That pairs nicely with Demeter in the sense that you're getting an attack buff and a defense buff, and if you destroy something in battle, you not only regen 1 spirit, but you regen 2. So their objective is, how do I get rid of Sirikun? They're going to essentially try to attack me here, but luckily I'm carrying Tsunami, which I think is phenomenal tech right now. I feel like if you're not facing up against a water deck, Tsunami is one of the best counter runes in the game. I'm pretty much running 2 or 3 in every deck right now, because water isn't really, not a lot of people are running water right now, so it's not a huge issue. I'm in my draw phase that I can immediately expend to essentially special ascend into Stratomoth, and this is huge because I get Stratomoth onto the field turn 2. I'm sitting here with my Stratomoth, but as you can see, I have 9 spirits left, actually 10 spirits left on turn 2, so I'm in a situation where I could very easily get kind of messed up. I'm gonna play my Aeolus now, which honestly I probably could have used it to play. No, I think this is fine. I could have saved it for like shield, but this is a good play. I ended up being able to search my deck again a second time for any Wind Elestral. I think I end up grabbing P-Gust here. I only run 1 P-Gust right now. I tech it in the deck. It's a way to deal with Voltempest, which is a really strong deck right now, is Voltempest burn. So I get my P-Gust. That allows me to actually just take out the Demeter, which you might say, well, why wouldn't you just bounce it? But bouncing it back means he can use it again. Like if I just destroy the Sprouter and use P-Gust, then I get rid of him. So I say, you know, I'm gonna play this slow. I got my Ambrosia. That allows me to grab a few more spirits back. I could just throw them into my spirit deck, which is really clutch. Ambrosia is a really, really good card, especially at this stage of kind of where Elestrals is. So I'm in a really powerful spot here, and it ultimately comes down to, all right, I'm not going to get a lot of damage off this turn because I need to knock out Sprouter with Stratomoth, but at the same time, I have a tremendous amount of field presence right now. So P-Gust can hit for 1. It's not a ton of damage, but it's something, and I'm set up in a situation where he only has 3 cards, right? Like, I just cleared his entire field in that turn with that combination, so I'm in a really powerful position, even though I only have 11 spirits now. That Ambrosia really helped because I was a lot lower than that. but that shows the power of wind, right? Like I'm able to get these cards to the field very quickly. Stratomoth hitting the field turn 2 just puts on so much pressure. Now, if Stratomoth gets destroyed, it could put me on the back foot, right? There's no doubt about that. And we're pretty even playing field in terms of spirits right now. He played the Nectar of the Gods to get an extra draw. Really needed those extra cards. Gonna start setting runes face down, which are kind of funny against Stratomoth because I can just bounce them back. So a lot of the common runes right now, Shield of Achilles, Tsunamis, things like that, are less impactful against Stratomoth where I can just bounce it back. And he actually plays Earthquake. So my time of Stratomoth was limited in this one, unfortunately. Earthquake is very commonly run right now. It's pretty much the best Elestral removal in terms of just like guarantees. So having Earthquake probably got it off the Nectar, able to get rid of my Stratomoth. But now he's down to nine spirits. So I'm actually in a decent spot here, and I'm gonna pick up Sorlet. I could have gotten fancy here with this play. I think there was a few things I could have done. I could have very much so, when Sorlet tried to use an expend, change the Spine Imp to attack, have Pigas attack it, things like that. I had a few different options. I think I actually slow play this. I feel like, if I'm not mistaken, I feel like I enchant the Pigas to take out... Do I end up doing that? I'm pretty sure I enchant the Pigas to take out the rune. I think that's what I do. Yeah, I think I do that. I actually say, you know what? This Spine Imp doesn't do anything to me. Like, I'm just going to enchant my Pigas a second time and just blow up the rune. And I blew up a Poison Tipped Arrow, which was an unfortunate play because the better play is if I cast Sorlet and it gets Poison Tipped Arrow, he uses more spirits than I would have used. You know what I mean? Like, it ended up being a bad play in that moment. I think my best play there was simply try to stack the board, play the Sorlet, and just don't do anything, don't attack, whatever it is. But doing the Pigas play shows some versatility for that Elestral, right? Like having that ability to essentially hit another rune a second turn is good. It's just not a strong Elestral to have on the field, but I'm in a position where if I draw into my Stratomoth again, I can actually cast it on top of the Pigas. So there are some things going for us. My opponent decides to go kind of all in here, gets the Tectorus onto the field with the Scythe of the Demeter, has a lot of boost. This thing is very strong, but I'm packing Shield of Achilles. So I'm very much prepared for this moment. I can just bounce this thing back. He loses the Scythe. This is a 3-spirit trade, or I'm sorry, it ends up being a 1-spirit trade. The shield costs me 2 to play. He loses 3 because the Scythe had 2 and the Tech had 2. So he loses 3 spirits. Really positive outcome for me because I essentially save my Pigas and clear his field to just be the Spine Imp. So overall, like, really good stuff. I end up expending for the shield because you have to expend based on the cost. And then I get to draw. I draw another shield. This is the benefit of running multiple shields, multiple Tsunamis. You can protect yourself for a tremendous duration of the game if you have enough pressure offensively. Because if they start to widen their board and they have a lot, you can only hold them off so long, right? Like, Tsunami's great, but it doesn't stop them from loading the board. I end up boom batting the Spine Imp because I'm like, you know what? It's all good. The Spine Imp is not going to be a problem if I just boom bat it. I don't want to try to hit over it with Sorlet. I'm trying to conserve my resources right now. I don't want to have to expend to change positioning and then lose Pigas Tech. I hit him for 2 with Pigas though. So I'm like, I have a shield. I'm good right now. I know that the only removal that he's going to have is Equal Links in an Earth deck basically for my runes. And he does not have the resources right now to play Equal Links plus Scythe or Equal Links plus Demeter. Very unlikely he's going to have those resources. So he goes Tectorus here, and, you know, only 1 spirit left at this point. An opportunity for, you know, him to try to come back, chip away at my Pigas. Obviously, he's F4 attack. I'm at 2 attack, I think, in terms of our stats. And I think he ends up just attacking here. Obviously, I have the shield, though, so it was kind of a no-brainer for me. Like, I was in a position at this stage of the game where I had enough of a spirit advantage from the beginning that I was able to kind of come out. So he does declare the attack. I simply shield it back, and then I'm able to actually win the game on the next turn with Nimbug and Pigas. So I had quite a good setup there at this late game. But all of this stemmed from the pressure that came from Stratomoth in the early game. Even though Stratomoth wasn't able to do a ton, I thought this gameplay was cool in the sense that it showed that, like, you can get Stratomoth out early and it could, you know, only be somewhat effective or put a little bit of pressure on, clear the field. I mean, like I said, the combination I was able to execute at the beginning of getting the Pigas and the Moth onto the field and then keep the Pigas onto the field for the duration, I think that was a really fun gameplay to kind of showcase. If you enjoyed this one, be sure to subscribe and don't forget to do your backer kits. I'll see you guys soon.